guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is my guy, sounds like he's in his late 30s or so, and he shares his story that I think a lot of you guys will be able to relate to, about how when he was young, he was an awkward teenager and all that, and how he got rejected by the first girl he really had feelings for, a girl he was friends with. But instead of letting that just destroy him, the guy used that to better himself. And let me tell you, he dodged a big one because she turned out to be the town bicycle. Well, more like the freaking city bicycle. Meanwhile, he was improving himself to the point that eventually she was then chasing after him, and nope, not a chance. And moved on with life, and now, fast forward in time, happily married, good life, and her, well, guess what happens to the town bicycles? Well, you know what happens. No husband, nothing, no kids, but has found Jesus, and you're going to see that it's pretty entertaining here. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, again, like to show you that many of you guys probably can relate to this, and how this guy didn't stop when he was friend-zoned and had his heart broken. He kept pushing forward, self-improvement and all that, and eventually got his shit together and is doing great, and they met one of the rare good ones, because there are good ones out there, they're just very rare. And again, these types that may reject, if you're a young guy watching this, and there's a pretty girl or pretty girls you like, that all the guys want, and you definitely are attracted to them and they're not into you, well, be aware down the road, you're going to have the last laugh because they're not. And you'll see in this story. He says, "Hey, SSM. A little backstory here. I, Daniel, was a late bloomer, and I started school early and was put ahead a year, leaving me 2 years younger than everyone else in my class. It sucked growing up. I felt forced to mature faster and try to fit in. I honestly didn't gain a true sense of myself until I was in my mid to late 20s, though. It felt like an impossible task to attract women in high school when the guys in my class were 2 years older than me, able to work and drive, etc. Yeah, the deck is stacked against you in that situation, but on the bright side, you were so smart and gifted that you were able to move ahead and get out of high school, which most of us hated earlier. It just really sucked then. And I can see how that shattered your confidence. I decided it wasn't even worth an attempt to try. I coasted through all of high school because I felt so out of place. It is one of the biggest regrets I have in my life, not fully applying myself, allowing myself to have a victim mentality. Well, it is what it is. What's done is done. At least you learn from it. And you learn to not have a victim mentality as you went through life. The only thing helping me make it through high school was I was big, if not bigger than everybody else. I graduated high school in 2003 at the age of 16, almost 6'2" and 190 pounds. Okay, you had some size to you, so that helped you from getting bullied and picked on, even like in 10th grade when you were like, I don't know, 13 or 14 or something like that, because obviously you're a big dude. That helped you. Fast forward a year and a half, it was late 2004. It had been almost a year since I had a pretty rough knee surgery, and it took me 4 months to be able to walk again without support at 100% strength. I'm working and attending local community college, and I made the decision that for the first time I'm going to try. I'm going to get in shape, and I'm going to better myself and get a girlfriend. Well, good for you, man. And a knee injury, that ain't fun, is what I've heard. I refused to allow myself to be a victim, and I was going to prove that I could achieve what I wanted if I tried. At this point, I was probably around 230 to 240 pounds and 6'3", with fat to lose. I gained a decent amount of weight from not being mobile while recovering from surgery, being sad and down on myself. Okay, you were a big dude then, and yeah, you need to lose some weight, but you know what? Again, you couldn't really train or anything like that, but the good thing is, when you're that young, at that age, it's not very difficult to lose weight compared to being in your fucking 40s, The older you get, the harder it is, and I know some of you guys are well aware of that. Around this time, late 2004, I became friends with a girl named Amanda. Through one of my friends. She was my age, but graduated in 2004. We clicked pretty fast, and I started to grow feelings for her. Of course you did. She had a great relationship with her parents, was religious, a virgin, and all around seemed to be a nice, clean girl. All the things I was looking for, a blank slate for me. Well, let's see how long Amanda remained so pure. I didn't have any experience with girls. But growing up, I had cousins and an uncle who were 100% what they would call red pill at the time and were very successful women. I had years of seeing what they tell me come true, but I didn't have first-hand experience of managing the emotions while being in the thick of it. Sometimes it's easier said than done when you have zero experience. There wasn't the amount of material out there now that there is now. Yeah, guys, I mean, how many times have you guys heard me have stories where guys write in and they say, SSM, I've been watching you for years. And they tell me their story, and it's like, you've been watching me for years, but you're telling me a story how your girlfriend is a single mom with 3 kids from 3 different baby daddies. Or you're dating a nurse and shocked that she was cheating on you with the fucking doctor and the EMT. Or your girlfriend asked for an open relationship and you agreed. Yeah, it's easy to hear things and say, oh, this is what I would do in that situation. And then you're in it. That's why you got to get experience. But yeah, this material wasn't there back then. This is why it's so important. Guys then and now had a good role model, a mentor, a guy to learn from who knows what the fuck he's talking about and doing. Well, I started working out, slowly working on running. I kept it simple. I did push-ups, sit-ups, did negative pull-up rep pull-ups until I could do a pull-up. He says I have a 6'9" wingspan, and pull-ups and bench press kick my ass. I used my own money for my job to buy my own food while still living with my parents. I ate a calorie deficit, and the weight started to melt off. Awesome. Good for you, man. And I like the fact that you were, not only were you taking action, you're like, look, okay, I got it. The healthy food costs more money than shitty food. And you were spending your money on this, acting like a man, and you were slowly but surely building yourself up. This doesn't happen overnight, guys, as I know a lot of you are aware. I've been about 3 to 4 months now being friends with Amanda, and my feelings are growing more and more for her. Well, here's the problem, and many of you guys probably spotted this already. Instead of just asking her out when he first met her, he decided to be her friend. And guess what? When you do, most guys, believe it or not, friend zone themselves, not the girls. They don't go for what they want. They figure, I'm going to just be her friend and show her how much of a nice guy I am and be there for her and listen to her fucking problems and all that. And by the time you finally get the guts to ask her out, already she sees you as a brother and she rejects you and you feel like shit. So never do that, guys. You see a girl you like, go for it. She rejects you, she rejects you. There's plenty of them. And you move on. And don't waste your time. But anyhow, I had to say that. So, being friends with Amanda, my feelings began to grow more for her. We hung out quite a bit. But I'm awkward and lacked the experience needed to be able to secure the relationship I was looking for. In other words, you didn't ask her out. But you know what? You didn't know. You did what most of us have done. It was absolutely crushed to get friend-zoned by her. On paper, we aligned so well. Her parents loved me. We got along great. I was getting in better and better shape, closer to 6'4" now, and 210 pounds, and still losing weight. I'm not going to lie, it really fucking hurt. Dude, it's happened to me more than once. I was that nice guy back then, too, that didn't have the balls to ask the girls I really liked out and tried the friendship route. Same thing. It sucks. I learned the hard way, as many did you guys. I was recovering emotionally from that blow, and she still wanted to be friends. Well, of course she did. She saw I was her brother, and hey, you know, he can hang out, he can listen to my problems, maybe buy me shit. Now listen to where it gets really bad, and how he definitely dodged a big one with her. I was trying to figure out how to navigate this uncharted territory. I went along with it, but definitely at an arm's length while analyzing everything. Smack! If you asked her out and you wanted something more, you shouldn't just then stay being friends with her when she turned you down. You would have to be nasty about it. Guys, you ask a girl out, whether you do it right away or you go through the friend route, which never works, and she rejects you and just says, I see you as a friend, as a brother. At that point, you can nicely say, well, I'm just not interested in being friends with you anymore. But if you change your mind, hey, you know where to find me, or something like that. Don't accept the friend zone, you know, but guys, most of you guys, put yourselves in the friend zone. I'm not going to lie, it really fucking hurt. I read that part. During this time, I absolutely revved up the intensity on working out, running 2 times a day, increasing weightlifting, and push-ups. Now able to do pull-ups and start working on handstand push-ups. Man, you're really putting it all in the gym, but good for you. I just hope your studies were keeping up. Then I find out that Amanda drives 450 miles to give her virginity to Tyrone and gets her guts rearranged while keeping me in the friend zone. I would say it hurt, but it was more like disgusted and confused. This led to Amanda going down the slippery slope of turning into a 304. So remember he said religious family, virgin, you know, all that. She went buck wild. Because obviously you're both in college now, and she's, I guess, off at college, or who knows. But she's away from mom and dad. She started posting naked selfies on MySpace, covering her boobs with her arms, and started hooking up with all sorts of guys. MySpace, because this is back, a while ago. I even heard she had multiple three-ways, just going a complete 180 from who she was just a few months before. Dude, this is who she was. Okay, deep down, this is who she was. Or maybe you just didn't know about her, activities. It was like she became possessed by some sex demon and was trying to make up for all the lost time she didn't sleep around in high school. That happens to a lot of girls when they get away from mom and dad and the strict upbringing they're in. I've known a few religious girls. Yeah. Jesus left the building because now it's, they're going embracing the devil. This all actually helped me with the healing process. Even if she wanted to date me, she became someone I was not attracted to, so I wouldn't have dated her. See, right there. That shit turns guys off. Women get so pissed off at guys about that, like, he's judging me for my past. It shouldn't matter. Yeah, it matters. It disgusts us. I guarantee this dude wouldn't have if she just had a boyfriend who she cared about and obviously slept with him, and then down the road she expressed interest in this dude telling the story, he would have been disgusted. But behaving like this, it totally turned him off. You dodged a big one, man. Because what would have happened if you actually started getting involved with her? Like, say you started dating when you asked her out eventually after like 19 months of being her friend. And I'm exaggerating. And she went off and cheated on you and did all this. It would have hurt you on a whole new level than just simple rejection. So you dodged a big one with her, dude. I probably would have slept with her, but she was forever ineligible to be a girlfriend, and especially a wife. I increased my workload intensity even more. It's now around March, April 2005. I go with less contact with Amanda. We still chat and are friendly, but I don't hang out nearly as much anymore. Well, why should you? One, you're completely repulsed by her, and two, you're not getting anywhere with her, so what's the point? I'm still focusing on self-improvement. Now I'm down to 185 pounds and I'm 6'4". I'm in the best shape of my life, and one night I get a friend request on MySpace from a gal. We'll call her Becky. Aha, enter Becky. Becky and I began chit-chatting. She's new to the area from another state. Things progress over the next month, and we meet up for the first time. And she checks all the boxes. Hey, how about that? Meanwhile, you've gotten yourself into the best shape of your life, primarily because you were rejected by Amanda, so you wanted to, fight back, if you will. And so you're looking good. Girls are noticing, and you're feeling better about yourself. I plan our first date for the coming week, and everything is going well. Good for planning a date instead of dicking around for months on end. So the next day, while I was at work, closing up, Amanda stops by to say hi to me. We're chatting, and I'm cleaning things up, and she asks me, what am I doing this weekend? I tell her I have a date with this girl, and I swear to God, SSM, you could feel all the energy in the area change instantly. Yeah, because guess what? Now she has competition. Amanda's tone and body language instantly changed. She stiffened up, and her friendly demeanor was replaced with an inquisitive and interrogation type of tone. She began asking all these questions. Who is she? Where does she live? Where does she move from? How tall is she? What color hair does she have? It was an endless amount of questions, each one sounding more and more concerned than the last. Concerned tried jealous. Think about it. You were always that guy that she knew she could have like that, or at least she thought that. Probably you were her safety net. While she was hoeing around with all those dudes and having three-ways and all in college, you were the guy, I guarantee you, she was keeping on layaway, her safety net, when she was done her hoe phase that she could go back to. I guarantee that was the case, even though you were backing away from her. And now there's competition. Ooh. It was fucking hilarious. I kept mopping the floor, sensing her fishing for more info with jealousy. I responded with upbeat answers showing excitement for my date with Becky, while showing indifference to Amanda's presence just to twist the knife some more. The power of indifference. To this day, whenever I want to laugh, I still think about that night. It never gets old. Now, some of you are probably thinking, dude, I'm sure there's other funny shit has happened to you over the years than just that night. Well, remember, this chick here, Amanda, is like his first major crush. or I wouldn't say first love because they weren't in a relationship, but the first, so he's not going to forget this. Becky and I began to date, and over the next year, Amanda magically wants to start hanging out with me more and more. No shit, she's jealous, threatened. I declined the invitations, and then she starts hanging out with Chris more. Chris is his buddy who introduced them. Trying to get him to hang out with me while she is with him. I sense that and avoid that as well. Well, Becky and I are now exclusively dating, and eventually Amanda gets a bit angry and tries to guilt trip me into still hanging out with her, even though I have a girlfriend. And that it's normal to have female friends while having a girlfriend. Bullshit. First of all, I stand by my code. You got a girlfriend, someone you're serious with, you shouldn't be hanging out with other chicks, just as the girlfriend should be hanging out with other dudes. Come on here. After deflecting, dodging, dipping, and avoiding conflict long enough, I tell Amanda that I'm in a relationship with Becky and I won't be hanging out with her any longer. Now you're rejecting her. The girl that has no problem with dicks lined up a mile long to service her, and you're rejecting her, her safety net? Ugh. It's interesting to note that she was pushing to hang out with me, seeking to get me back into her orbit for much longer than we actually hung out. Probably a 5-to-1 ratio. 3 to 4 months of hanging out versus her trying to get me to be in her orbit for a year and a half. And I bet it felt good, man. Exactly. You see, you're in the position she's chasing after you. And the more indifferent you were, the more it drove her crazy. As a side note, I disagree. Why should I give any of my emotional energy to another woman instead of the woman I'm in a relationship with? Same goes the other direction. I had the same expectation of my girl, not sharing her emotional energy with other men. I agree with that. Another side note. As I'm dating Becky, heading to the exclusive zone, I swear it was like women all around had their antenna picked up to that signal. And they came out of the woodwork. There were like 15 instances where women put themselves in a position for me to ask them out within a week's time. I had never ever seen or experienced anything like it. Well, that, my friend, is what happened. There's a saying. How can I get that? Let me see if I can get this right. The most attractive thing to a woman is a man who's taken. Let that sink in. Some of you guys have heard that before. Why? Well, number one, if you're with Becky, you're feeling good, you like your girlfriend, you're attracted to her, having a good time, blah, 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 getting some. You're walking around on cloud fucking 9, feeling good. And that's attractive to women. They can see your positive energy. They can see you feeling confident who you are, and boom, like radar, their antennas pick up, they notice that. Number two, if you're in school and all in the same community, and they see you with Becky, I think that's what you call her, and Becky looks good, they're probably thinking, that girl is pretty good looking, because women know who other good looking women are, and they're probably wondering, what's the deal with you? Instant attraction, social proof. And three, last time I checked, women are competitive as hell. They're taking a look at her, saying, I'm prettier than that bitch, and now they want you. So there you go. Nothing's changed. Anyhow, it says here, I can't quite remember how I heard this bit of information, but I did hear that Amanda was talking to her mom about this whole situation, and her mom told her that I was gone forever, which put a smile on my face. Well, you're in a small town, gossip spreads. Anyway, fast forward to 2025. Oh, okay. And Amanda is in her late 30s now, and as far as I can tell, is not married and doesn't have a kid. So she's a late 30s cat lady. But she does have a nice cross necklace on display on her social media profile picture. Oh, so she's no longer having pictures of her butt naked holding her boobs. She's got a nice cross so everybody can see her devotion to Jesus. No husband, no fiance, no boyfriend, no kids, nothing. That's what happens when, you're a Tinderella back in the day before Tinder was something. As for Becky, I proposed to her in 2008 and married her in 2009. Yes, smack away. No, I'm not going to smack you. And you know why? Because obviously that was a few years after you met Becky. Smack, because you obviously were still pretty fucking young. My bad. But still, at least you did that years after you met Becky. And obviously you're still with her. I will say, though, I approached the proposal with a lot of analysis and thought. Well, that's good. I spent months thinking about what each decade would look like in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. Thinking of so many of the women out there were more like Amanda than Becky. Most women are like Amanda, dude. I felt the universe was telling me that what I had was truly the exception, and if I didn't take it, that I was going to have a hell of a hard time finding it again. Well, if Becky truly had all the qualities that were rare and good, then yeah. But don't you go fucking putting Becky on a pedestal or you're going to regret it. And again, fast forward to 2025, Becky and I will be celebrating our 16th wedding anniversary. And that voice was absolutely telling me the truth. Well, congratulations, man. I'm glad, obviously, it's been working well, and you deserve that. You deserve to be happy. But don't forget things you learn in this channel, otherwise you won't be so happy. I believe that only 2 to 3% of women are actually wife material, and I generally feel awful for any guys out there that actually want a wife. It's absolute bullshit compared to what our parents and grandparents experienced. As much as I appreciate social media for allowing me to meet my wife, it was done irreparable damage to our society, and I don't really see a way for things to fix themselves unless women take accountability, yeah, fucking right, and start having feminine standards again. But our society will continue to devolve to the lowest common denominator. Rant over, SSM. Thank you for everything you do to provide for men out there. I wish you the best of luck, and I've been enjoying your content since 2021. Well, bro, thank you for watching me since 2021. I appreciate the support, and all you guys have been watching me forever. But anyhow, man, that's a good story. You know, your story is what so many of us can relate to. You got guys out there that were late bloomers, guys out there that had that first crush. We all remember her. None of us forget that one. And most of us were rejected by her. And you were in a situation where you got your shit together. You said, okay, I don't like the way I look. I'm going to do something about this. Put my energy in my body, hitting the gym hard, taking time. Obviously, you're working well in school and other things because you're a smart guy because you graduated high school at 16. And eventually, you met at the right time, right place. You met a gal, one of the rare good ones, learned from your mistakes, and you married her one day and you got a happy marriage. That's great. I would like many guys to have that. But you're right when you say about 2 to 3% are really actually wife material. It's probably not much higher number than that because a lot of them are much more like Amanda, but probably not to the extent like that. And it doesn't surprise me at all. Here we are in 2025. Amanda's unmarried, no fiance, no kid as far as we know. And there she is on Facebook with her cross in full display instead of holding her boobs on MySpace. Lucky for her, MySpace went down. But then again, those pictures are out there everywhere. And there you go. So, man, good for you. Good comeback. Good story here. And all the Amandas out there are probably crying and whining that, why can't I find a man? Well, when you behave like you did, that's what's going to happen because word gets around. Nobody wants to marry the town bicycle, you know? But you got a good one, so I'm happy to hear that. So, good for you, man. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you got a good story to share or a question to ask me, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's good, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.